Hi guys, this is Omer from MMOHut.com. I'm doing a quick weekly recap of MMO news and announcements for the week ending October 3rd, 2010. As I said last week, this will be a weekly feature every Sunday. Now, there are a lot of interesting announcements this week, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, as you can see from the video playing in the background, our first story is that Steel Online will receive a major update called Eternal Destiny. Now, for those that haven't heard of Steel Online, it's actually not a very well-known game. It's a brightly themed, anime-inspired MMORPG from YNK Interactive that actually looks a tad bit like Flight, in my opinion. So, Eternal Destiny update will basically add a new PvP arena, a polymorph system, a rating system, and a cross-server trading system, and a bunch of other little features. Now, this update will actually go live on October 5th. Now, when this bit of news was announced back on September 27th, YNK Interactive actually said they were relaunching Steel Online with this update. But the game isn't really a relaunch, it's more like an expansion pack, so I don't know why they went out and confused everyone with the word relaunch, because the game isn't relaunching. Up next, Golfster is coming to North America and it will be published by GameAgo. Now, they actually announced this on September 28th. And Golfster is a 3D, somewhat anime-inspired golfing MMO. And it's pretty crazy how many golfing games there are out there already. We have Tiger Woods Online, Pangya, Shot Online, so I guess there's definitely a market for these kind of games. Now, there's no official release date for Golfster yet, but one of the more interesting aspects of the game is that everyone in the game can play at the same time. Now, I actually played Pangya, Shot Online in those games, and my biggest complaint with them was that the game just felt too slow and it was turn-based. Obviously, not everybody feels this way, but it's pretty cool that in Golfster, everybody plays at the same time. Plus, the game supports up to 30 players in a single room, which is definitely pretty cool. You guys can also see some actual gameplay in the video right now. The first video I showed was a basic trailer for the game. Here you can see some actual gameplay, and I just grabbed this video from the Korean website for the game. So the interface is in Korean, but you can see what the graphics are all about. I mean, they're not like chibi cute graphics, but they're somewhat realistic with some anime-inspired graphics too. On September 28th, Land of Chaos Online, called Loco for short, added a new playable character called Ellen Reinford. And whoa, that is a total Night Elf clone from Warcraft 3, or Sylvanas Windrunner, the undead version from Warcraft 3 as well. And that's actually another character they will be adding to Land of Chaos Online in the coming weeks. That one's called Partisan, and it's supposed to be some sort of assassin. The next character we should see should be Ellen Reinford, the new character they added recently. Now, the way I look at it, the more characters, the better. As the reasons why I like games like Dota, Heroes of New Earth, and League of Legends is that they have so many playable characters that give them so much variety. Land of Chaos Online is still a bit new, so it doesn't have nearly as many heroes as those games. On a side note, LOCO is a pretty awesome acronym, though I like LOL better because LOL just is a more awesome acronym than that. You can see from the gameplay video above some of the skills Ellen Reinford will have and some of his attack animations and things like that. Of course, he's fighting creeps in there, so it doesn't look, it's not too impressive. And whoa, cheesiest transition ever. And next piece of news, which was announced on September 29th, Gravity buys the Dragonic Online developer Brunson Interactive. Yeah. And Gravity is the company behind Ragnarok Online. They're probably actually best known for Ragnarok Online. They also make Rose Online, they make Requiem as well. And they're actually going to be relaunching Dragonic Online on their own new portal called Warp Portal. So before they used to have RagnarokOnline.com, they used to have RoseOnline.com, and a few other domains for their games. Now all of those games are on one portal, kind of like what Area Games does and OG Planet does. Now you can find all of Gravity's games on Warp Portal. And actually, Dragonic Online shut down pretty recently on the THQI servers. Those characters should be transferred to the new service, and I think the amount paid for the Brunson Interactive was like 10 million, so it's a lot of money. Now, I think one of the reasons that THQI failed with Dragonic Online was that, THQI really doesn't know MMOs that well. While Gravity's have been running games for a while. I mean, we've all played Ragnarok Online, at least on private servers, but so hopefully Gravity can do a better job with Dragonic Online than THQI's. Now, Dragonic Online should relaunch by late October or early November, hopefully. And next up, Drift City on the EG service will be shutting down as of October 28th. But before you guys worry, the game will be moving to a brand new publisher. Games Campus, the guys behind Us, The Story, Legend of Edda, and a bunch of new MMORPGs will be picking up the service for the game starting on November 1st. So you can actually transition your characters onto the new service, but you won't be able to take away your EG coins if you spent any EG coins on any characters for the new service, unfortunately. But Games Campus said they were making some sort of compensation if you did spend money on the game. Now, fans of Drift City should actually be a little bit excited about this transition because Games Campus, when they launch the game, will be releasing several unreleased updates to the game, including new maps, quests, battle modes, and a few other nifty little features. Well guys, that's it for In the News, and now we're going to look at a few recently launched games. Now, the first one, as you can see, is Freejack, published by Gamercraft, the same guys behind Prison Tale 2. Now, before you guys say, oh my god, you didn't review Prison Tale 2 yet, Prison Tale 2 is EU only, unfortunately. The North American license for the game still sits at Stupid Games, and they haven't done anything with the game for such a long time. But now, Freejack itself is a pretty cool 3D parkour-themed racing game now. The word parkour apparently just means running around cities doing awesome stunts now. That word is actually pretty new to me. I haven't heard of parkour until this game actually came out. But the game itself is a lot like Tails Runner. If you've ever played that, you race on foot. So the concept of racing on foot is pretty original for free-to-play MMO racing games, because traditionally you would race on a car or something like that. I mean, you have games like Need for Speed World and Heat Online and stuff. So, and the actual animations in Free Jack are actually pretty neat too. The game has a pretty neat housing system as well and a bunch of cool maps. The game went into open beta on October 1st, and anyone can go ahead and download and play the game right now. So if you like Tails Runner, there's no reason not to give Free Jack a try. Only because the games are very similar, and I like the art style a lot in Free Jack actually. Also on October 1st, 2010, Uncharted Waters Online, published by Netmarble, went into open beta. Now Uncharted Waters Online is a unique 3D sailing MMORPG developed by Koei, the same company behind Dynasty Warriors Online actually, and it's actually a Japanese developed MMORPG. There really aren't that many of those. I mean, when you think free-to-play MMORPG, you usually think China or Korea, not usually Japan. The combat scene in the video actually looks pretty funny. It looks like the ship in the back is actually helping the ship in the front, but they're supposed to be fighting each other. And even though the game just launched into open beta in North America and Europe, the game has been available in Japan for over 5 years. I mean, it's been in Japan since 2005. And as you can see from the video, it has both a sea-based component and a land-based component. And Uncharted Waters Online is a really original game, and I really want to emphasize that because there are so many MMORPGs out there now that just copy each other. And there are a bunch of WoW clones too, so if you're looking for a genuinely different game, definitely give Uncharted Waters Online a try. One problem with the game though is that it has a ridiculously steep learning curve. It's not a game you can just pick up and play and just know what's going on right away. It's a game you gotta spend some time just learning and figuring things out too. Well, that's it for new launches, but up next is upcoming MMORPGs, and the first game we're going to take a look at is Divine Souls from Outspark, the 3D action MMORPG that Outspark has that's meant to compete with Vindictus and Soulmaster and those action kind of games. Now, Divine Souls launched into its second round of closed beta testing on September 30th, 2010. At first, you needed beta keys to access the game. Nowadays, you don't even need a beta key to access the game. You just log into your Outspark account and bam, you're in. Now, there is no official release date for open beta, but hopefully the game does come out soon. Outspark is a bit slow at releasing games sometimes. I mean, think Erebus, Dance Groove Online, and so many other games just never came out or just got super delayed. Now, the funny thing about beta keys is, half the time you actually don't even need a beta key to play a game. I remember when Legendary Champions went into closed beta, they said you need a beta key to play the game, but you didn't. Remember Battle of the Immortals? It says you need a beta key to play the game? No, you didn't. In so many closed betas, you actually don't even need to enter the beta key in to actually log into the game. So if you ever want to try a game, just try logging in first before looking for a beta key. Awesome cheesy transition for the win. I was actually looking for the most cheesy transition I could find, and that was just it. Now up next, the closed beta for Legend of Edda, a new 3D anime-inspired chibi-style MMORPG published by Games Campus, just went into closed beta on September 30th. Now, the closed beta is expected to run from September 30th to October 11th, so there's not a lot of time in the closed beta, but hopefully the open beta will follow right afterwards. Now, contrary to the way the game looks, it's actually a PvP-heavy MMORPG. Now, I didn't believe this either, but apparently there's a lot of PvP in the game. You have open PvP, you have battlegrounds in the game, faction wars, and things of that nature. Graphically, like I said, the game is very chibi style, and it actually looks a lot like Luna Online. And by a lot, I mean almost exactly like Luna Online on some parts, except with a more isometric camera angle. The game is in closed beta, and it is playable. Just click on the link below to go ahead and register, and you can get a beta key on MMOHut.com as well. Up next is Kitsu Saga from Area Games. It actually just went into its closed beta testing phase on October 1st. Now, the game will remain in closed beta for an unspecified amount of time, and hopefully the open beta will follow shortly afterwards. Now, the game was actually developed by X-Legend Entertainment. Now, I doubt you guys know who that is, but the company is actually the same guys who made Grand Fantasia. And because of that, the two games are very similar. So if you like Grand Fantasia, you definitely want to give Kitsu Saga a try, only because the games are so familiar. I mean, they both have a sprite kind of system. Kitsu Saga has Kitsus, which are the game's pet system, but again, they're very similar, and if you like Grand Fantasia, there's no reason not to give Kitsu Saga a try. The full open beta for Vindictus, the action MMORPG by Nexon, begins on October 13th. Now, Nexon officially announced this day on September 30th, so I told some people that the game would be going into full open beta on October 6th, but that wasn't true. It's coming out October 13th. And I based my October 6th day on a question and answer I had with the Nexon people about Vindictus. They said the early access beta would end on October 6th, so I just suspected that the open beta would begin afterwards. But the open beta for the game, the full open beta, it's official, begins on October 13th. So after that date, you will no longer need beta keys or early access keys or whatever you want to call them to access the game. I personally thought the whole early access thing was kind of lame because a lot of people wanted to play Vindictus, but they couldn't because Nexon didn't give out that many keys. I don't know why they did it. Anyway guys, that's it for the MMO/MMORPG news for the week ended October 3rd. You can read about any of the headlines I discussed or just learn more about the games on MMOHut.com. This is Omer, signing out.